بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. ما زلنا مع مولانا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. We're still covering the childhood of the Holy Prophet صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. We've covered the very early childhood of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, when both of his parents passed, the care of Sayyidina of Abdul Muttalib, and it is also recorded that Abdul Muttalib once made istisqa through the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam because of a dream a woman had in Mecca. When they asked Allah wa ta'ala to bring water in, Abu Talib recorded it in his beautiful Lamia, in which he was saying or praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we also covered the rihla of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Abu Talib to Sham, and their meeting with the monk, the Nasrani monk, Bahira, in a place called Busra in Sham. And the signs of the prophethood he remarked and he recognized, and he told them to return with him to Mecca. It looks like the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not travel outside Hijaz, outside Mecca, until he was about 24 to 25. But Imam al-Halabi recorded that Prophet ﷺ, traveled with his two uncles, Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib and Zubair ibn Abdul Muttalib, when the Prophet ﷺ was 17, and this journey was to Yemen. Some scholars, they do not accept that this journey occurred, but Imam al-Halabi, a great scholar of Sirah, he recorded it in his book. Now that the Holy Prophet ﷺ is 20, there are two major events that occurred during this time in Mecca, and they both affected the Holy Prophet ﷺ's life. When the one is Harbul Fijar, and the other one is Hilvul Fudul. Harbul Fijar and Hilvul Fudul. In the year 20, there is a war or fight that occurred between Quraysh, and with Quraysh was Kinana, and another tribe known as Qais Ailan. And the reason was that a guy from Banu Kinana, whose name was Al-Barras, he assassinated 3 people from the tribe of Qais Ailan. And the information reached the Suq of Ukal, which was the biggest, one of the biggest, marketplace in that area. And both tribes were there. When the information reached, they started fighting. Quraysh and Kinana against Qais Ailan. You know that in those days, anything could cause a fight. And this is a serious business. 3 people were assassinated, and there was not maybe a judicial system that could take care of that. The judicial system was power. Whoever is more powerful, you have right. And that's why Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in that very period of time to bring people from that darkness to the light of Islam. Kitabun anzalnahu ilayk لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. This book was sent down to you. We've sent down this book to you so that you take people from darkness to light. So that's the mission of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. At that time, the leader of Quraysh in Kinana was Harb ibn Umayyah. Harb is the father of Abu Sufyan because of his lineage, but because also of his age. And in the beginning, it was Qais who was winning the fight. Then afterwards, Qais started losing. And then they suggested that let us make peace. The two sides decided to make peace and took that out of, the Prophet ﷺ witnessed this fight. He himself did not fight, but he was preparing his uncle's arms for them. So that was his participation, but he did not physically or involve. كان يجهز لعمومته أو لعمومته النبل للرمي. Then right after that, one of the greatest and most important events that the Prophet ﷺ never forgot in his life occurred. That is known as Hilful Fudul. Hilful Fudul is it was like they call it Fudul because it was an alliance of good people. Because this harb occurred, and it is called Harbul Fijar. Fijar is the opposite of goodness. Why? Because not only this harb was not just, but it occurred during one of the sacred months. And the Arab, they used to observe the 4 sacred months, because that was among the remnants of the deen of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because it happened in that sacred month, they call it Harbul Fijar. But this also occurred right after that. The Hilf of Fudul. Hilf of Fudul was the alliance of the goods. It occurred in that month, that sacred month of Dhul Qa'dah. Some tribes of Quraysh, Banu Hashim, Banu Muttalib, and Asad ibn Abdul Uzza, Zuhr ibn Kilab, Taym ibn Murrah, they met at a place called in the house of Abdullah ibn Juda'an, and they made a pact that no one should be allowed to be wronged in Mecca except that we do help with them. We do stop it, because that there was a lot of wrongdoings out there at that time. That's why the Holy Prophet ﷺ used to say, لَقَدْ شَهِدْتُ فِي دَارِ عَبْدِ اللَّهِ بْنِ جُدْعَانَ حِلْفًا مَا أُحِبُّ أَنَّ لِي بِهِ حُمْرَ النَّعَمِ ولو أدعى به في الإسلام لأجبت. I witnessed at a in the house of Abdullah ibn Juda'an an alliance that if the old red camels given to me, I would prefer them. Meaning, I would prefer that alliance to everything else, to the dunya and to all the wealth, to the wealth of the dunya. And he said, even as a prophet now, if I were to be called to a health like that, to that alliance, I would have responded. Some of the Kutub of Sirah, they said that the reason for this health was that there was a man from Yemen, a man from Zubayd, from Yemen. He came to Mecca, and he was a merchant. And one of the leaders of Mecca, Al-Asi ibn Wahid al-Sahmi, took merchandise from him. And he did not want to pay him. He went to his allies in Mecca, you know, Banu Abduddar, Makhzum, Jumah, Saham, they didn't do anything because perhaps that guy was too powerful for them to do something, or they were too unjust for them to help. Then this guy who mounted the Mount of Safa, Safa was one of the mountains in Mecca where if you want something to go public, that was the Facebook of that time. It was social media or the television. So even the Prophet ﷺ, when he first went to public, he went to Safa and called people to accept the message Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala sent him with. So when this man went to Safa, he said, Ya Ahl Fihrin, la madlumun bida'atahu bi batni Makkata na'id dari wa nafari. Meaning, he's telling them, I am here in Mecca, the holy Kaaba, where everything is sacred, and I'm being wronged. And I'm a guest. I come far away from, meaning, even if I didn't have anything, I deserve respect. I deserve, ikram al-dayf. I deserve honor. But here I am. I'm a merchant, and my merchandise is taken, and they don't want to pay me. He said, "Wa muhrimin ash'athin lam yaqdi umratahu ya al-rijali wa bayna al-hijri wal-hajari." Meaning, I'm in state of ihram. I haven't even done my umrah yet. Yet you guys are wronging me. How can that be? And then he say, "Innal harama liman tammat makarimuhu wa la harama li thawbil fakhiril ghadiri." Meaning the sacredness of this place is in good character, but you cannot claim you are in the most sacred place just because you are here, you are the leader, and you wear beautiful clothes. And your leadership, the true leadership for you, is to make sure that the sacredness of this place is respected. And the first person who intervened was the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Zubair ibn Abdul Muttalib. This Zubair is different from the Zubair There is a Zubair that is among the Sahaba of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, among the Al-Ashr al-Mubashara, one of the 10 people the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave tidings of going to Jannah directly. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam cited 10 people, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Abu Ubaidah, Zubair, Abdurrahman ibn al-Auf, Sa'ad, and Sa'id. Who's left? Someone is left? I said Abu Ubaidah. Sa'ad, Sa'id, Abdurrahman ibn Auf. Who else? Zubair ibn al-Awwam. Did I say Zubair? No, I didn't say. Four Khulafa. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. You have 4. Now we have 6 remaining. Let's make it easy. Zubair, Sa'ad, Sa'id, Abu Ubaidah, Abdurrahman ibn Auf. One is remaining. Every one of you know him. Talha ibn Ubaidillah. But this Zubair, the Prophet ﷺ mentions in this hadith, this Zubair is the son of Safiya. Zubair ibn al-Awam, his mother is Safiya, the aunt, the paternal aunt, of the Prophet ﷺ. But this Zubair, who intervened in this qadiyya, because of which this alliance was done, this Zubair is the very uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Zubair ibn Abdul Muttalib. The Zubair that Imam al-Halabi claimed earlier that he traveled with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abbas to Al-Yaman when the Prophet was what age? 17. MashaAllah, you are following up. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. بارك الله فيكم.